So this is what we're making, a simple twisted wire ring, and by twisting both right and left, we end up with a piece that looks like it's braided or woven, and the reality is it's just two pieces of twisted wire. For this project, we need two pieces of 1.2 diameter round sterling wire, 200 millimeters long, 8 inches in the old money. So just cut that with your side cutters, and we're going to twist these, one in the right hand direction and one in the left hand direction. So we'll just bend this in the middle. Doesn't have to be accurate, but it would be nice if the ends were close. And then we'll put one end in the vise, grab the other end with vice grips. I'm just going to take a set of chain nose, pointed nose pliers and make sure that the end is fairly close. It doesn't have to be squeezed completely together, but close would be nice. Do both, and then we'll go to the vise. So I've just grabbed the ends of the wire to make sure I have both ends of the wire, and this one I'm just going to twist to the left. And I think we want a fairly tight twist on this one. And then we'll twist the next one to the right. Now at this point, same old story. Get your ring size. If you have a ring that fits you, you can just measure the inside diameter. Make sure you stay on the knife edge. Don't let the ring drop down in this groove. And take that diameter, and then you add the height of your twisted wire, which in this case is 2.28, multiply by 3.14. And that'll give you your length. Now there are two ways we can do this. We can cut these individually. We'll have to anneal them because we've work hardened them by twisting. But if we cut it to length, make the ring, make sure the ends match, tidy that up, round it up, do the second one, then put them together, solder them together. Or you can lay the two pieces side by side on a charcoal block, make sure they're touching for the whole length, place bits of hard solder along it, solder that so that you have a totally flat ring shank. Then you could cut that to length and form it like a regular ring, whichever way. Today I'm just going to cut them individually and make two rings and then solder the rings together. Now you can see by my marks that there's about 10 mil of scrap on either end, and that's good because we'll have a nice clean cut. Hold your shank vertical and file with the number 2 cut flat hand file. Make sure the ends are flat, and when you get them both filed, make sure they're both exactly the same length. Anneal by heating to a dull red. And you have to move the flame off the metal to see the color, because otherwise the flame just blankets it. So there we are, a nice dull red. Then we'll wait until that's not red, quench it in water, pickle it to get rid of the oxides. So they're annealed and pickled. Take your flat half round pliers, the half round goes on the inside. Don't grab the very end, leave it sticking out a little bit always, and just gently bend the ends until they touch. And when you get to this point, a little bit farther down, we want them to be almost completely horizontal. And then we can do it like a jump ring where we just push it past itself, bring it back, and it'll have spring tension holding it together. So get that as perfect as you can get it, and then we'll solder it, both rings. You can see I've just laid the rings flat on the charcoal block. And what I'm going to do is a fairly large piece of hard solder that I'm going to flux. And then I'm going to place the join directly onto that piece of solder. So it's sitting perfectly on the solder, on the join. Now flux the join. And what will happen is when we heat the ring up and the solder flows, it will just flow up into the join. So make sure the ring is actually sitting down on the solder. If it's slightly bent so that it's up, flip it over. Make sure it's touching the solder, otherwise this won't work. So a neutral flame, and this won't take a lot of heat. Don't point the flame towards the back of the ring. Keep the flame on the join. So I'm just gently going back and forth or around the join. The flux will go clear, and then the solder will melt and just come up into the join. There it is. Then we do the next one. Yep, happy with that. Now the reason I don't point the flame back here is if we heat the back of the ring, it'll expand and it'll open up our join, and we don't want to do that. So now quench, pickle, and we'll round them up. If you go to pick up your ring and it's stuck to the charcoal block, just warm it up and shift it with your solder pick. Don't pry it off. So take out of the pickle, rinse, dry, look at your solder join. It should be perfect. Round them up on the ring mandrel, gently using the rawhide hammer. We don't want to stretch them. And while you're at it, you can check your size. Make sure the size is right.